Today, I want to talk to you about something that doesn't care about your gender, your age, or where you come from. It's about the power you hold to transform your life. Whether you're male or female, the challenges we face, the dreams we chase, and the growth we seek, they all boil down to the choices we make every single day. Now, imagine looking back 6 months from today and seeing a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. 6 months might seem short, but it's enough time to completely rewrite your story if you know how to take the right steps. So, let's break the limits, shatter the excuses, and discover exactly how you can change your life in just half a year regardless of whether you're male or female. When we talk about success, growth, and transformation, many people instinctively associate it with external factors, circumstances, opportunities, resources, and sometimes even gender. There is a deeply rooted societal belief that men and women are inherently suited for different roles, different levels of success, and different types of achievement. For centuries, cultures around the world have constructed expectations based on gender, subtly or overtly dictating what a person can or cannot achieve. From childhood, boys are often encouraged to be assertive, bold, and competitive, while girls are encouraged to be nurturing, gentle, and accommodating. These ingrained ideas are not just societal suggestions, they become self-fulfilling prophecies, shaping the way individuals perceive their own potential and the choices they make in life. Yet, when we strip everything away, when we remove the lens of gender and focus purely on the individual's mindset, the entire picture changes. Success is not a matter of being male or female, it is a matter of believing in your own ability, cultivating resilience, and harnessing the power of your thoughts and decisions. Mindset is the great equalizer. It is the invisible force that can either limit you or propel you forward, regardless of the biological or societal labels attached to you. To truly understand the impact of mindset over gender, we need to examine the ways in which perception shapes reality. Many people, both consciously and unconsciously, impose limitations on themselves because they have internalized beliefs about what is appropriate or possible for their gender. A young woman may hesitate to pursue a leadership position in a male-dominated field because she has been conditioned to believe that men are naturally more authoritative. A young man may avoid entering a nurturing profession or expressing vulnerability because he fears that doing so would contradict traditional masculine norms. In both cases, the barrier is not external, it is internal. It is the invisible chain of mindset, the preconception that gender dictates potential. The moment an individual recognizes that these limitations are self-imposed, a profound shift begins to occur. When mindset overtakes gender as the defining factor, doors that once seemed permanently closed suddenly become accessible, and opportunities that were once dismissed as not for me become tangible and achievable. One of the most powerful aspects of mindset is its adaptability. Unlike innate physical attributes or external circumstances, mindset can be consciously shaped, refined, and strengthened. A person who believes in their capacity to learn, grow, and overcome obstacles is more likely to take risks, seek challenges, and persevere in the face of setbacks. This growth-oriented mindset is often described as the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset sees intelligence, talent, and potential as predetermined. It sees gender as a defining line that separates what is possible from what is not. A growth mindset, on the other hand, views every challenge as an opportunity, every failure as a lesson, and every limitation as a temporary condition that can be transformed through effort and determination. When individuals embrace a growth mindset, gender becomes irrelevant. What matters is the persistence, courage, and willingness to evolve. History is filled with examples of individuals who shattered gender-based expectations simply because they refused to let societal perceptions dictate their potential. Women who have led nations, built global businesses, and revolutionized industries did so in spite of the preconceived limitations placed upon them. Men who have chosen careers in caregiving, art, or education have succeeded because they followed their passion rather than conforming to traditional masculine stereotypes. Each of these stories demonstrates that while gender may influence certain experiences, it does not determine the ultimate trajectory of a person's life. The defining factor is the mindset, the belief that one has the right, the capacity, and the responsibility to pursue their vision of success. The power of mindset over gender also extends to the way we perceive challenges and setbacks. Traditional narratives often suggest that certain genders are more equipped to handle specific types of stress or competition. For instance, men are frequently expected to endure high-pressure environments without displaying emotion, while women are often assumed to be less capable in highly competitive or technical domains. These assumptions create pressure to conform and foster self-doubt, which in turn limits growth. Yet, when an individual prioritizes mindset over gender, they understand that resilience, creativity, and problem-solving ability are learned skills, not gender traits. The person who believes they can adapt, learn, and overcome will approach obstacles with resourcefulness and determination, while those who allow gender-based assumptions to dominate their thinking may avoid challenges altogether. In this sense, mindset acts as both armor and compass, guiding individuals through the unpredictable terrain of life while shielding them from the restrictions imposed by outdated norms. Cultivating a mindset that transcends gender requires deliberate effort and conscious awareness. It begins with self-reflection, questioning long-held beliefs, recognizing internalized limitations, and challenging the narratives that have shaped one's self-perception. For many, this involves identifying moments where gender-based assumptions have influenced decisions, whether in education, career, relationships, or personal growth. Once these patterns are recognized, the next step is to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this because I am female," or "I am not built for this because I am male," one shifts the focus to, "Do I have the dedication, the skills, and the perseverance to succeed?" This reframing is not merely a mental exercise, it is a transformative practice that alters behavior, decision-making, and ultimately, life outcomes. Action plays a crucial role in reinforcing mindset over gender. Belief alone is insufficient without consistent effort and practical application. Those who embrace the principle of mindset over gender understand that achieving goals requires both vision and action. They seek knowledge, develop skills, and create strategies to overcome obstacles. They surround themselves with supportive communities, mentors, and networks that encourage growth rather than reinforce limiting stereotypes. Each step taken toward mastery and personal development reinforces the belief that potential is not defined by gender, but by commitment and perseverance. Over time, this alignment of belief and action creates a powerful feedback loop. As individuals witness their own progress, their confidence grows, and their mindset becomes increasingly resilient to societal pressures or doubts. Another critical aspect of mindset over gender is emotional intelligence. Success in life, whether in personal growth, career advancement, or relationships, is rarely achieved through raw talent alone. It is shaped by the ability to understand oneself, navigate social dynamics, and respond to challenges with empathy and insight. Emotional intelligence is not gender-specific. It is a skill that can be cultivated through mindfulness, reflection, and intentional practice. Those who develop this capacity are able to lead with authenticity, connect meaningfully with others, and maintain clarity under pressure. By focusing on emotional intelligence and self-awareness, individuals further reinforce the notion that gender is not the determinant of potential mindset, adaptability, and emotional skill are. Moreover, the commitment to mindset over gender requires a long-term perspective. Change does not happen overnight, and transformation rarely follows a straight path. Individuals must be prepared to face setbacks, criticism, and even ridicule when challenging entrenched norms. Yet, those who maintain a mindset rooted in self-belief, perseverance, and continuous improvement are equipped to navigate these obstacles. They understand that gender may influence how others perceive them, but it cannot dictate the results they achieve if they remain focused, disciplined, and resilient. This perspective shifts the narrative from limitation to possibility, from compliance to empowerment, and from fear to courage. Education and skill building are also essential components of cultivating a mindset that transcends gender. In every field, technology, science, arts, business leadership, and beyond, competence and knowledge are far more significant than gender. By dedicating time and energy to learning, practicing, and refining skills, individuals demonstrate to themselves and others that success is earned through preparation, effort, and strategic thinking. This proactive approach reinforces the belief that personal agency, not gender, is the key determinant of achievement. The more an individual invests in their capabilities, the more their mindset shifts from limitation to possibility, strengthening their ability to pursue ambitious goals and embrace challenges that others may have deemed inaccessible. The role of mentorship and role models cannot be overstated in the cultivation of a mindset that prioritizes potential over gender. Observing and learning from those who have defied gender-based expectations provides both inspiration and practical guidance. Whether it is a woman leading a multinational corporation or a man excelling in a caregiving profession, these examples illustrate that success is not a function of gender, it is a function of dedication, vision, and mindset. Mentorship allows individuals to internalize these lessons, adopt proven strategies, and build confidence in their own capacity to succeed. Over time, this network of support reinforces the understanding that gender is a context, not a limitation. Finally, embracing a mindset over gender transforms the way individuals define success itself. Instead of measuring potential by societal expectations or traditional gender roles, success becomes a personal, self-determined metric. It is measured by growth, fulfillment, impact, and the pursuit of meaningful goals. This redefinition empowers individuals to take ownership of their lives, make choices aligned with their true aspirations, and create paths that were previously unimagined. In doing so, they not only change their own lives, but also contribute to breaking down the very stereotypes and barriers that once constrained them, creating a ripple effect that inspires others to recognize that mindset, not gender, determines what is possible. Change is often seen as a monumental event, something that occurs suddenly and dramatically, altering the course of a person's life in an instant. Many people wait for a big break, a perfect moment, or a life-altering opportunity to come their way, believing that transformation requires extraordinary circumstances. The truth is far simpler and far more empowering. Lasting transformation rarely comes from one giant leap. It comes from consistent, deliberate action taken every single day. Small steps, repeated consistently over time, compound into remarkable progress. It is the accumulation of these seemingly minor actions that has the power to reshape your skills, mindset, habits, and ultimately, your life. The principle is universal. Whether you want to build physical strength, achieve career success, improve relationships, or enhance your mental and emotional well-being, the key is not in sporadic bursts of effort, but in sustained, disciplined action over time. When we think about 6 months, it can feel like either a long stretch or a blink of an eye, depending on perspective. In reality, 6 months is the perfect window for transformation. It is long enough to make substantial progress, but short enough to maintain focus and momentum. Imagine what can happen when you commit to taking meaningful, purposeful actions every single day for 6 months. Each day becomes a building block. Each action, no matter how small, is an investment in the future version of yourself. In the beginning, progress may seem imperceptible. You may not notice dramatic changes from one day to the next, and that is precisely why consistency is so critical. Change is not always visible immediately, but like a river carving a canyon over time, the cumulative effect of persistent effort creates powerful, lasting results. The first step in harnessing consistent action is to recognize the importance of setting clear, achievable goals. Without direction, effort can become scattered, and daily actions may lack purpose. A goal acts as a compass, providing clarity and focus. However, ambitious goals can often feel overwhelming if approached all at once. This is where the concept of breaking goals into small, manageable steps becomes essential. By identifying the micro actions required to achieve a larger objective, you transform a daunting challenge into a series of simple, repeatable tasks. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, the first step may be as simple as drinking a glass of water each morning, taking a 10-minute walk, or adding one serving of vegetables to your daily meals. These small actions, while seemingly insignificant, set the foundation for larger habits and create momentum. Each day, as you complete these small tasks, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of progress and growth, which in turn fuels further action. Consistency is not merely about repetition, it is about discipline, focus, and intentionality. It is easy to take action sporadically, when motivation is high, or when circumstances are favorable, but the true test of transformation lies in maintaining effort when challenges arise or when enthusiasm wanes. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable, but consistent action ensures that progress does not come to a halt. It is not about perfection, it is about persistence. Even on days when energy is low, taking small steps, writing a paragraph, making a phone call, going for a short run keeps the momentum alive. Over 6 months, these small acts of discipline accumulate, creating a trajectory of growth that cannot be achieved through sporadic bursts of effort. The compounding effect of consistency is profound. Each day builds on the previous one, reinforcing habits, skills, and confidence, and gradually transforming the person you were into the person you aspire to become. Another essential element of consistent action is accountability. When we commit to small, daily steps, it is easy to let them slide, especially when results are not immediately visible. Having mechanisms of accountability, whether through self-monitoring, sharing progress with others, or tracking milestones, ensures that you remain committed to your actions over the long term. Accountability transforms intentions into results. It reinforces the understanding that every small step matters, that every day of effort contributes to a larger outcome, and that the transformation you seek is directly tied to the actions you take consistently. Tracking progress, celebrating small wins, and reflecting on improvements create a positive feedback loop, reinforcing the habit of action and strengthening belief in the process. Consistency also requires patience and trust in the process. In a world dominated by instant gratification, waiting for long-term results can be challenging. Many people abandon their efforts prematurely, frustrated by the lack of immediate change. Yet, the reality is that meaningful transformation is often invisible at first. Muscle growth, skill mastery, and personal development do not happen overnight. They occur gradually, through repetition and incremental progress. The key is to maintain faith that the daily actions, no matter how small they seem in the moment, are laying the groundwork for significant outcomes. Each day of persistent effort brings you one step closer to your goals, and over 6 months, the results of this cumulative effort become undeniable. One of the most compelling aspects of consistent action is its ability to shape identity. When you commit to daily actions, you are not just building skills or achieving external goals. You are reshaping the way you see yourself. The repeated behavior of showing up, doing the work, and honoring commitments fosters a sense of self-discipline, reliability, and resilience. Over time, these actions reinforce the belief that you are a person who follows through, a person who can overcome challenges, and a person capable of transformation. This shift in identity is powerful because it aligns your self-perception with your desired outcomes. When you see yourself as someone who consistently takes action, you naturally make choices that reinforce that identity, creating a self-sustaining cycle of growth. Consistency is also crucial in developing mastery. Skill development is rarely the result of a single effort or a moment of inspiration. It is the product of continuous practice, repetition, and refinement. Whether it is learning a language, mastering a musical instrument, excelling in a profession, or cultivating emotional intelligence, progress is achieved through persistent effort. Small, daily actions allow for incremental improvement, which compounds over time. Each practice session, each attempt, each correction contributes to a higher level of competence. 6 months of disciplined daily practice can yield a level of proficiency that may seem unattainable when looking at a single day in isolation. This principle underscores the transformative power of consistent action. It is the pathway to excellence, one small step at a time. The concept of consistent action extends beyond personal goals to relationships and communication as well. Building meaningful connections requires ongoing effort, attention, and care. Small daily gestures, listening attentively, offering encouragement, expressing gratitude, or making time for loved ones accumulate into deep, lasting bonds. 6 months of intentional effort can fundamentally change the quality of your relationships, creating trust, respect, and emotional intimacy. The principle is the same. Consistent, purposeful action, even in small doses, leads to transformation that might not be immediately visible but becomes profound over time. Mindset and consistent action are deeply intertwined. While mindset provides the vision and belief in what is possible, consistent action is the bridge that turns potential into reality. Without mindset, actions may lack direction and purpose, becoming inconsistent or misguided. Without action, mindset remains theoretical, a set of ideas without tangible results. The combination of both clear intention fueled by persistent effort is what produces extraordinary outcomes. Each day of deliberate action reinforces the mindset, and each success, no matter how small, strengthens the commitment to continue. Over 6 months, this synergy creates momentum that is difficult to disrupt, propelling individuals toward growth, achievement, and fulfillment. It is important to recognize that the magnitude of transformation is not solely dependent on the size of individual actions but on their regularity. A 5-minute habit performed every day can yield more results than a 3-hour effort done once a week. Consistency compounds effort in a way that occasional bursts cannot match. This principle applies to every aspect of life. Reading a few pages of a book each day, writing a few sentences, taking short walks, practicing a skill, or engaging in mindfulness exercises may seem insignificant on their own, but over 6 months, these actions accumulate into expertise, insight, strength, and resilience. Small actions, when repeated consistently, shape not just outcomes, but the very trajectory of life. Overcoming resistance is an inevitable part of maintaining consistent action. There will be days when motivation is low, when fatigue sets in, when distractions abound, and when progress feels frustratingly slow. These are precisely the moments that define the difference between those who achieve transformation and those who do not. Developing strategies to stay consistent despite obstacles is critical. This may include planning in advance, creating routines, setting reminders, or breaking tasks into even smaller steps to reduce resistance. The principle is simple. Action, even imperfect or partial, is better than inaction. By showing up consistently, you build resilience, strengthen habits, and ensure that progress continues, even when circumstances are less than ideal. The long-term impact of consistent action is profound because it fundamentally changes how you interact with time, effort, and possibility. It teaches that success is not an event, but a process, that transformation is built incrementally rather than instantly, and that dedication matters more than luck. Over 6 months, consistent action produces results that often surpass what seemed achievable at the outset. Physical health improves, skills advance, relationships deepen, confidence grows, and opportunities emerge that would have been impossible without sustained effort. The cumulative power of repeated small actions cannot be overstated. It transforms ordinary days into extraordinary results, ordinary people into extraordinary achievers, and ordinary potential into remarkable reality.